Ladies and gents, and boys and girls of all ages, I welcome thee to Comic Critic. If you're just joining us, this is a show where I take a look at random pieces of media I'm either on the fence with, hate, or enjoy. And since Halloween is next month, today's episode is about a YouTube animated series that I absolutely fell in love with, called Vampair. For those who haven't seen anything from this series, it follows a girl named Missy, who eventually turns into a vampire inside a mansion owned by a vampire named Duke, and the two of them go back and forth with one another. This animated series still is and has been in the works since 2016, and the creator, Daria Cohen, has finished the first season, and has even released a few episodes of Season 2. But in this video, I will only be going over Season 1, and once Season 2 is finished, I'll do a recap of that. And of course, me being a goth myself, this is extremely up my alley. And I also don't see many people reviewing this either. So, without wasting any more time, let's go over the 7 episodes of Vampair. The first episode introduces the main duo with the song The Night, by an artist called Vampair, but I'll come back to him later. Missy walks inside the Duke's house to do some reading, and the Duke messes around with her, till she eventually gets him killed by daylight, and after, grabs his cane, which then turns her into a vampire. After that climactic start, the second episode isn't a follow-up, but does show more of the character Duke, and how much he is, and or was, a ruler of the dead, which also has a really catchy song to go with it. The third episode is rather a follow-up from the first, and shows that the Duke has somehow been revived, and Missy overtaking his castle. While he tries to let himself back in and settle, Missy isn't having that, and throws many attempts to get him to leave or kick him out, and very fittingly has this as the song. This song brings back so many memories. There's also a mini episode after it that sets up for one of the biggest climaxes of the season. Episode 4 takes a deeper look into how Missy is feeling in her new form. At one point she eventually lets go of the cane and goes back to her human form, realizing the thing she has become. She then sees the Duke still outside, which tempts her to grab the cane once again, and go confront him, only to see a poster on the front doorstep, inviting her to a supposed showdown, which doesn't happen till episode 6. The next episode is more or less like episode 2, where it follows Duke basically digging around, but also coming across someone that is looking for Missy, and all he does about it is walk away. Yeah, not really much else to say about that, unless it comes back in season 2. Then episode 6 arrives, The Showdown, and it is exactly how the title implies, with intense music and fluid animation galore. What ends the epic battle is when the Duke loses his thumb and Missy loses her eye. They then stare at each other, not knowing what to do now. The last episode of the season now shows the two living with each other over the song Stuck With You, also by the artist Vampair, as a nice callback, which also feels like a circle within the narrative. And after the two fight each other for a while, and shit-talk each other, they eventually fall in love, and rest in coffins while holding hands. It pans up to then reveal another season is yet to come. Really, there isn't much I can say I dislike about this indie series. If anything, the one thing I could pinpoint is the ending of the last episode of the first season, which is really just a minor nitpick if anything. Throughout the whole episode, they fight and bicker at each other, but then fall in love, for some reason. My guess is that it could be because they realize all they're gonna have is each other, but it is rather quick in transition. Though to give it credit, it's miles better writing than this shit. And really, there are a lot more qualities than there are quirks to this series that halt it. Oh god, where do I begin with this? I'll start with the music. Like I mentioned before, the music chosen for these episodes, even though they are copyrighted and not the animator's songs, do fit in with the episodes. And oh my god, I cannot get enough of the song The Night.
The dame is the wife whom I elude, the one to whom I should be right, while the others rest, while the others rest.
I don't know if I love it as much as, per se, Detroit Rock City, but it is damn close. And the other songs, such as Land of the Dead and Stuck With You, are just as catchy and have good timing.
Genitals, my butler, the Cyclops, my valet, in the land of the dead. You're a slob, it's such a bore, your underwear strewn on the floor.
Like I said though, they aren't made by the animator, but they do have great choices with the music to tell the story. Even the Fuck You song was a funny choice. It somewhat feels like it's trying to do what Pink Floyd The Wall did a little bit, where it lets music tell the story rather than a bunch of dialogue and slow-paced scenes. With another relation to The Wall also adding animations to them, which does end up leading to my next point. The animation is just phenomenal. Like, this is almost Has-Been Hotel quality of animation. You can see the frame-by-frame work, which I can only imagine was unbelievably time-consuming, especially for just one animator, even with a couple helpers. Lastly, the story, the cake under the frosting, is also really fun to get sucked into. As of Season 1, it's not the most complex story ever told, but as the saying goes, less is more, and this is a great showcase of that. Focusing mainly on two characters, and giving them a bit of personality during the songs they sing. There's even videos in the series playlist of deleted scenes, and animatics that didn't make the cut, along with speed paints the artist made, which I have to applaud a bunch of times too, which again, can animate so freaking good, and I will say is pretty decent at storytelling. And with everything I said here, I am very much excited for Season 2 once it's finished, but until then, the book on Vampair will be closed for now. I also will be leaving the creator's channel in the description for anyone who wants to watch more content by her. Now before I close this video, I will also say, since it is the beginning of fall, I will be planning 2 more Halloween related videos for the season. The real question is, what should I do for those 2 videos? Let's see. That's been done, I'll save that for another day. That's been done way too many times. I'm sure that's been done. Wait. Are there really no reviews of this? Anyways, with that said, thank you all for watching. If you like what you saw, like, comment, and subscribe. This is Mr. Tim on Comic Critic, and I'm off.